Hey guys, welcome to my 27-week pregnancy update. If you are new to my channel, my name is Susie Hardy. I am 36 years old and I live in Cape Breton, Nova Scotia. And I have been doing a video documentation of my second pregnancy. So I already have a 3-year-old son. He actually turns 3 in just a couple of days. And I am pregnant now with my second son. We are having a boy, and his name is going to be Hank Hardy. So if you hear me talk about Hank, I'm talking about the baby that's in my belly right now. So let's see what's going on with Hank. In the Pregnancy Plus app, it says your baby's eyes are now partially opened and those tiny eyelids are able to blink. Even though the eyes may have some color, the final pigmentation requires exposure to light. In some cases, the final color of the eyes cannot be determined until 9 months after birth. And I'm going to stop right there because this is really interesting. So my husband has like dark chocolate brown eyes, and his sister has dark brown eyes, and their mother had striking dark brown eyes. And it's funny because when I was pregnant with my son Wilson, I just kind of assumed that he would have dark brown eyes. And when he was born, his eyes were like a bluish greenish color. And I think that it's very common for most babies to have blue looking eyes when they're first born, and then they kind of change color. But children that I know who have dark brown eyes had like dark brown, almost black looking irises when they were born. So Wilson was born with like bluish greenish eyes. You guys are going to notice that I'm out of breath in this video as normal, or as usual I should say. But Wilson was born with like bluish greenish eyes, and I have like greenish hazel eyes. And so I just assumed that they were going to be the same color as my eyes. Cut to 6 months later, they were still like a greenish, bluish hazel color. Cut to like almost a full year later, they were still light. And then right before he turned a year old, they turned brown. And I've just never, ever really heard of that. But that's exactly what happened with Wilson. So I just think that that is like, I don't know, super interesting. So just because your baby is born with blue eyes doesn't mean that they're going to always have blue eyes. And in Wilson's case, he was born with like a light bluish greenish eye and ended up having like chocolate brown eyes. He has super dark brown eyes, really cute. But anyway, I thought that was just like an interesting fact. Back to Hank. It says even though your baby still has to grow a lot, his little body now is getting chubbier as fat is depositing under the wrinkled skin. Muscles are developing some tone as well. It says your baby has a 95% chance of survival if born at the end of this week. The lungs are better prepared to breathe, but would still need medical assistance. If you are carrying twins, each baby will have its own sleep cycle, which you should likely be very aware of. So that's a little bit about the baby. Things that I have noticed about the baby is that his movement the last 2 weeks has been like just a huge change in the amount of movement. So I feel like he is awake more so during the day. He's awake at all times. I feel like there's not enough room for him in there, and that he is constantly kicking me and punching me and turning when I sleep at night. And he rolls inside my belly. Sometimes it wakes me up out of a dead sleep. I wouldn't say that it is painful. And I will say that I definitely really enjoy feeling him move. But with that being said, it's uncomfortable. So I have actually screamed out loud because he moves so much, and like kicked me or pushed me in such a way that it like kind of shocked me. That didn't start happening until week, the end of week 25, week 26. So yeah, so the last few weeks or couple of weeks, the movements have been really increasingly noticeable and strong. One day that I really started noticing the increase in movement, I looked for my journal because I didn't vlog my first pregnancy, but I kept a pretty detailed journal of everything that happened with me when I was pregnant with Wilson. And I looked up week 25 or week 26 to kind of see what I wrote in my journal. And one thing that happened with Wilson all the time that didn't happen with this baby is that he had hiccups all the time. The only other thing that I wanted to say about this baby specifically, or about Hank specifically, is that, and I have no like data to back this up, the ultrasound technician did tell me that she thought that the baby was big for its gestational age or whatever, but I just feel like Hank is going to be a big baby. Okay, so let's talk about what has been going on with me over the last couple of weeks. And before I start talking about my symptoms, I just want to mention one thing that I've kind of been thinking about a bit over the last week or so. And that is that I really want these videos to be real and truthful, and to be honest and to be truthful with you guys right now. Over the last few weeks, I have felt absolutely awful and completely drained. So when you watch this video, I know most of you are going to be sweet and comment and say like, Susie, you look great, or you don't look tired, or you don't seem tired. But I just need you guys to know that that is the reason that I am able to make this video today, is because today I feel really good. So I'd say 1 or 2 days out of the week, I feel pretty much like myself. I feel pretty much normal. It's either because I got a really good sleep the night before, or I don't know, maybe it's like the Tim Hortons coffee. But today I feel good, and that's why I'm making a video today. But I have not been feeling good, and I'm going to get into more detail. So the number one thing I have been complaining about during this pregnancy, or my number one symptom, is that I'm short of breath all the time. So I'm short of breath right now when I'm speaking. When I stop speaking for a minute, I really start to notice it. I'm short of breath with any type of exertion. And about a week or so ago, I started getting short of breath when I was laying down. So I was just laying down on the couch watching TV with my toddler, and I felt out of breath just laying there. So that is a number one symptom that I have. And I think that I'm out of breath for a number of reasons. Number one, I'm anemic. So my hemoglobin is low, my iron is low, my B12 is low. They also say that sometimes when you're pregnant, just the weight of your uterus can put like pressure on certain arteries in your body. That really affects your circulation, and so your blood carrying capacity is lowered anyway. So it's harder for your body to, carry oxygenated blood throughout the body, which is probably exacerbated by the fact that I am anemic. And so all of those things together, I think, are what is contributing to me being out of breath. I do feel exhausted all the time. And again, I probably feel exhausted all the time because I'm pregnant, I'm chasing a toddler around, and I'm anemic, my iron's low. My B12 is also really, really low. So I've been taking a B12 supplement, and I've been taking iron twice a day, but it's just not cutting it. So that, and just general tiredness from being pregnant, has been making me feel really tired. I am normally a person who has a ton of energy. So when I feel this drained and feel this tired, it almost makes me feel like I have like mild anxiety and depression, because I just am so exhausted that some days I don't want to get up. Like I don't want to do anything. It's like a struggle for me to take a shower. Do I think that this is a normal part of pregnancy? Absolutely not. Because I did not feel like this when I was pregnant with my first son. Do I feel bad about myself? No, I think that this is a normal part of this pregnancy and all of the things that I have going on. And I have confidence that after I have the baby, I will feel a lot better. So I'm not overly worried about it. It's just really hard. If you feel like crap and you don't feel perky and you feel exhausted, make sure you talk to your doctor about it. But don't beat yourself up about it, I guess, because every single pregnancy is different. My last pregnancy, I was hiking every day. People were like, oh my God, Susie, you are like Wonder Woman. Like this time I'm on the opposite end of that. So I am very much exhausted. I don't want to use the word lazy because I don't think I really have any choice, but I'm just really, really drained, I guess. And that's fine. I'm kind of getting towards being on the home stretch. So that's been going on. So that's that. Guys, don't feel bad for me. I would much rather be having a baby than feel great and not be having a baby. Like, I'm really excited to have a baby, and I'm battling through these stages. So I just want to tell you guys how I actually feel, but don't feel bad, because all that being said, I'm still happy that I'm pregnant and having a baby. Other symptoms that I've been having is I've been having pain in my lower back that kind of shoots down my legs. And I thought that that was sciatic nerve pain. And one of you actually commented that you thought it sounded like my SI joints. And I went to see a chiropractor, and it is my SI joints. So loosening of the SI joints is causing me to have a lot of back pain. I also have a little bit of pelvic pain and lightheadedness. So I haven't actually fainted and hit the floor at work, but I did faint at home. And I've had multiple occasions at work where I felt like I was just about to faint. And after one of them, which I talked about in my last video, I just felt dizzy and lightheaded that entire day. Like, it just didn't go away. So I'll keep talking about the rest of my symptoms, and then I'll talk to you about what happened over the last couple of weeks. So other symptoms are I started to produce colostrum. And I learned that the hard way because I had like a thin cotton sports bra on and a cotton shirt, and my nipples just kind of randomly started to leak a tiny little bit. Now, it's not milk, it's like that pre-milk or that yellowish color colostrum. I feel like this didn't start happening to me until way later with Wilson, but maybe where I've already produced milk and I've already had a baby, my body's just more ready to do that. And this is TMI, but I don't even care, because if you're watching pregnancy updates, you probably don't care about TMI. But if I was to like squeeze my nipple, like definitely a bunch would come out. Not a squirt, but like little drops would come out. But sometimes it just happens on its own. So that is definitely new. That's a new symptom. My heartburn is getting way worse. So before I only had heartburn in the evenings, and now I have heartburn right now. So I have heartburn kind of all the time. At my last doctor's appointment, which was like a week or so ago, I had so much going on that I didn't even talk to her about my heartburn. But the next time I see her, I'm going to bring it up, because she did give me a prescription when I was pregnant with Wilson that was okay to take when you're pregnant, and it really, really helped. And with my first pregnancy, it got to the point where like I absolutely needed to take it or I wouldn't be able to function. So I'm definitely going to mention that to her at my next appointment, which is in 2 weeks. What else is going on? My bump to me is really, really big compared to other people I know who are as far along as me. And you're going to see my bump in a bit. But I felt like I was gaining a lot of weight and I was really out of control. Now, they say if you're at a healthy weight, you should really only gain like 25 to 35 pounds when you're pregnant. But again, I think everybody's so different. That is just a guideline. But in my head, I felt like I was gaining an unhealthy amount of weight. When I went to see my OB, she kind of made a comment about my belly, and it wasn't an insulting comment. It was just, she was like, oh my God, like, have you ever popped since the last time you were here? And she said, like, you must be uncomfortable. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm really uncomfortable. And she said, like, you look great. Like, you don't look unhealthy or anything like that. She just said, you know, your belly is just a lot bigger than it was like 4 weeks ago. And I was like, oh yeah. And I said, I'm actually like, do you think I'm gaining too much weight? Like, I'm a little bit concerned. I feel like I'm really big and whatever. And she weighed me. And when we did the math, I really only gained 23 pounds at the most. When I got pregnant, I was around 143 pounds, which is a little bit more than I normally weigh all the time. Normally I weigh about 138, 139 pounds, but I know I was around 143 pounds when I got pregnant. And I am 165 pounds now. So I'm really happy with that. Like, I don't feel like that's bad at all. Like, if I gained another 10 pounds or another 15 pounds, like if I gain, like I said, like between 30, 35, even if I gained 40 pounds my whole pregnancy, I would be completely okay with that. I don't want to gain more than that. I may not have a choice because when I was pregnant with Wilson, I put on a ton of fluid in my third trimester. But like I just felt good about that. I feel happy about that. And I don't know, it was just kind of nice to do the math and find out that I wasn't actually gaining a substantially unhealthy amount of weight. I went to see my OB last week, and it was just my regular, every 4 weeks I go see her appointment. And she brought up my blood work from the last time I was there, and she was asking me about like my dizziness and how tired I was. And she looked up my labs, and she basically just told me that she didn't want me to go back to work. So that was like a huge shock. And I know that I've been lightheaded, and I know that I fainted and all that kind of stuff. And I know that, like, you know, it's probably not a good place to work is in the OR if you're going to be fainting. And I know that my iron's low, and I knew all of that, but I also know that your obstetrician normally tries to keep you working for as long as possible while you can. And I just didn't expect her to say that to me. But I just think that she thinks my blood work and stuff is so depleted and that I am at risk for fainting, and she just told me that she didn't want me to work anymore. I don't feel like I was ready to go off work. I definitely think it's safer for me to be off work, and I definitely think that I need the rest, mentally and physically. The hardest part for me right now, other than like, you know, when you work with a bunch of coworkers that you really like, and you like your boss and you like your job, it's hard to make that phone call, you know, and say that you've been put off work, because I feel like I'm leaving my staff kind of short-staffed. So there's that. And then the other thing that I find really hard is that she told me, like, Susie, I'm putting you off work. You're not on bed rest per se, but she said, take your son to daycare. And I just find that really, really hard for me to be home and him to be there. I'm not taking him full time. She told me to take him there full time. I'm not taking him there full time. And we pick him up early every day. But that has been probably the hardest thing for me, because, you know, it's nice to get a break sometimes, but I miss him so much. Like, my husband and I miss him when he goes to bed at night. Like, I don't know, he's such a good kid. I find at like 8:30 at night, if he's still not asleep, I'm kind of thinking like, oh my God, Wilson, would you please just go to sleep? Because all I want to do is like sit down and have like adult conversation and watch a TV show that I'd like to watch for a little while. But then a half hour after he falls asleep, Jeff and I always look at each other and we're like, I miss Wilson. Like, I hope he wakes up. So I'm going to show you guys my bump. I am going to make a video this week. I said I was going to do it long ago, but this week about the maternity clothing subscription that I have now. So I am subscribed to the Sprout Collection. It's a maternity clothing rental company. This dress that I'm wearing is from them, and I ordered it. You pick out what you order. Like, they don't just ship you stuff. You pick out the items that you want. But I chose this. It has red poppies on it. Not even thinking about Remembrance Day, but it's November and it's Remembrance Day, and it's Remembrance Day, so it was like the perfect thing to get. And I'm going to stand up and show it to you. But so this is my box for this month. I just got it, and in this box I ordered 3 dresses. So like 3 kind of long sleeve tight dresses, similar shape to what I'm wearing right now. And I ordered 1 long sleeve really nice sweater. And the stuff that I got this month isn't as, I don't want to say it's not as stylish, it's just not as unique maybe as the stuff I got last month. But I've been noticing that the items that I ordered this month, I've been wearing them like in rotation every single day. So I'm really getting my money's worth this month. I did pay for this month's subscription because I wanted to go through the process of actually going on their website and ordering the items and then returning the items so that I can make a video all about the company, because I think it's just like such a cool thing. All right, before I show you my bump and this cute dress, I'm just gonna say what I say at the end of every video, which is, I hope you liked this video. If you did like it, please give it a thumbs up. You can always give it a thumbs down. Leave any questions or comments you have, positive or negative, below. Please subscribe to my channel, and I will see you very soon in my next video. Bye.
You want a book?
Yes, it's got pocket too, and you can open it.
That's amazing.
Do you want to put some candy in here to make room for more candy in there?
No thanks.
Do you want to take the big bag then?